Hey folks, welcome to Tony's Kitchen. Tonight we're going to prepare chicken marsala, and this is a really easy dish to make. Anybody can prepare this dish in probably 30 minutes, maybe a little longer for someone who hasn't done this before, but it's a great tasting dish. We're going to prepare about 2 servings tonight, and I'm going to show you what we have here. We're starting off with boneless, skinless chicken breast tonight. Okay, we're going to have some parsley for garnish. We're having asparagus also. We have some seasoned flour to dredge the chicken breast in. We have some green onions that we're going to chop up. And we also have mushrooms, which I've already chopped up. In the interest of time, I've quartered them. So what do you say we get started? First thing I'm going to do is we want to get the asparagus going, because that's going to take the longest to cook. Now I'm going to show you what you got to do to asparagus. After you wash it and clean it, you have to break the end of it here. Okay, so you just get these, and there's a natural breaking point. They break right off at the very bottom. Just pinch it just like this here, all right, and you pinch off the bottom, all right, and you can discard this because it's very tough and you can't eat it anyway. What you want to do next is take your asparagus. Now these are very short because my wife has already broken them once and I told her not to, and she did it anyway, but these would normally be a little bit longer. So anyway, we're going to take this asparagus, we're going to put it in some boiling water. Now I have a colander over here, and we're steaming it. Okay, the asparagus is not in the water, and the reason for that is it'll get mushy, because right now the tenderness is about the same in the whole spear of asparagus. And I have just a wet cloth here. It's very hot because there's steam coming out of it. And you just lay the asparagus in there, get a cold, I started off with a cold cloth, and I just folded it over like this here, and I'm just going to let it cook till it's done. If you cover this, your asparagus will turn brown, so you don't want to do that. So we have the water boiling, that's the first thing you want to do, and you have the asparagus cooking. Now, on the onions, I cut the mushrooms, as I said, in quarters, and what we're going to do on the onions, we're going to cut those on a bias in nice sized chunks, because if you don't cut them like this here, what's going to happen is they're going to cook down to nothing and you're not going to see them. So we want to cook these in nice big chunks, all right? And we've been sauteing these over here, okay? And now when you're cooking these mushrooms and onions, anytime you saute anything, you want to cook it in a pan that has a rounded lip on it, say like this one here, because you want to be able to spin the mushrooms and the green pepper. So we're going to just put this over here, you know, pop it up in the air like that. This takes a little bit of practice, and not everybody can do it, but if you have this type of pot, you can saute relatively easy and not have to use your spoons and things like that to stir it up. So we're going to cook that, and that's going to be cooking, and now we're going to start on the chicken. What I've done is in this other saute pan here, I've melted some butter, okay, and that's going to be what we're going to cook in. I'm going to take my boneless, skinless chicken breast, okay. Now this has got a lot of fat on it here. Let me move this out of the way so you can see, okay. And I'm going to cut off as much fat, any fat or gristle type of product that I have here. Now on a chicken breast on the inside here, you'll see that there is like a nerve going in there. I will cut into that. Even though when you cook it, you probably wouldn't taste it, I just don't like the idea of it being in there. So I'm cutting it out. And someone say, well, you're being wasteful. Well, it's my chicken. So that's just the way I like it. I don't like any gristle, any nerve, any fat. I don't want any fat whatsoever. I got enough fat in the pan with the butter. Okay. So now we have our chicken breast. It's pretty clean, nicely trimmed. All right. And we're going to cut nice pieces out of this. And by the way, these knives, these are French knives, and the reason I use this type of knife is because I can hold this knife without getting my fingers cut off on that and chop, and cut without having to worry about the chicken or the knife cutting my fingers or smashing my fingers into the table here. So we're going to cut this in nice big chunks. And keep a touch on the mushrooms and onions over here. Keep that cooking, can't forget about that. A couple more pieces here. And this will make enough for about 2 people. Keep in mind, you're going to have a vegetable and a starch, I'm sure. Okay. I'm going to get this, and we're going to put this in a little dish there. Okay, now we're going to dredge this chicken in seasoned flour. Put salt and pepper in there. And we just want to get it really nicely coated. Okay, this is about 11 ounces of chicken right now. That's what I started with, was about 11 ounces. So I'm just got them nicely dredged in flour. I'm going to throw them back in another dish here. Okay, get that in there. A few more. Okay. Everything's proceeding nicely. Okay, now we got that dredged and floured up. Okay. I can make a mess tonight because my lovely wife is going to clean everything up afterwards. She just loves that as she's watching me make this mess. Okay, we're going to get now, we melted the butter and we want it to be, it's got to be relatively hot because we're going to be sauteing this. Okay, I think these mushrooms and onions are pretty much done. I don't know if you can see a little bit of brown on there, nice color. That's the effect you want to have. So we're going to essentially just turn these off for a few seconds. This is going to be chicken marsala, as I said, and we're going to flame this dish tonight. I bought the cheapest marsala I could find because we're cooking the alcohol off, you're not drinking it, and you just want what's left over. And so we're going to be using that. By the way, I sold 3 cars today. The whole idea of this whole newsletter and me doing all this is so that, you know, I can keep in constant contact with you, and I want you to continue to watch my videos and cooking and stuff. But you know, if anybody needs a vehicle, we have over 500 vehicles in stock, and so keep that in mind. And we have everything from Porsches. We even have a Ferrari in stock, and you can actually see that on my Facebook page. And if anybody wants to friend me, it's Facebook.com/Dominic Pantoni. It's DOMENIC PANTONI at Facebook. Okay, what I'm doing now, my butter is relatively hot. I'm just laying these pieces in here. And what we want to try to do is to get this nice and brown. Get it really hot, because when we throw that Marsala wine in here, we're going to have some nice flame. Throw that all in here. This is going to fill up the full pan. Shake off the excess. Chicken breast after this, because it really doesn't take a long time to do it. And my grandkids, all 4 of them are here, and they're having corn tonight. We're having asparagus, so that's just the way it is. Alright, so got that cooking. Really the only thing left in the ingredients line is the parsley to garnish with. So we're going to kind of move this out of the way here. Because the next thing, clean this up. Didn't need to leave the frame. Okay. That's going to be to put the chicken on. Now we're going to flip this over. Now we're not going to be flipping this. You've got to turn these over individually. We want to get them nice and brown. Chicken doesn't take long to cook. It'll be very tender because we took all the fat and the gristle out. And chicken breast in itself is really tender. So, but chicken breast by itself is very, very dry. But when you cook it with a little bit of fat, that's going to stick to it. And also you're going to have all the juice from the marsala and the liquid from the mushrooms and onions. So it won't be dry at all, believe me. Okay. I think, now, I would recommend that you put your Marsala wine in some type of small container and pour it in there. A lot of folks, I only use gas. I can't stand electric ranges. I hate electric ranges because you can't control the heat. I can control the heat on everything that's cooking here now. And right now I'm cooking on high heat. But I recommend that if you're doing this for the first time, that you just turn the heat down just a little bit. When you saute, you want to cook on high to medium-high heat. But you certainly don't want to burn your items. You don't want to burn the butter. But I'm cooking this fast enough that I don't think I'm going to have that problem. But it's going to flame. You will have a shooting flame. Okay. Just a couple more seconds and we're going to be ready to flame this. Okay, how's the asparagus doing over here? Lovely, lovely. Oh, it's just a few more minutes and that'll be ready. So also, we were going to have parsley buttered potatoes tonight, but we only had 2 and I didn't want to go through the trouble of cutting up 2 potatoes when I have 7 people to feed. So tonight, we're having Hungry Jack, okay? My wife's going to make this because she is talented and she can read the directions on the back here, which are, you know, right now she's flipping me something, but anyway, no. It's very easy to make, and I kind of like Hungry Jack mashed potatoes anyway, and the juice from the chicken will be there. So that's what we're having tonight, but no parsley butter potatoes. I'm hoping that you guys are good enough in the kitchen that you could probably make that yourself. Okay, this chicken looks like it's just about ready. All right. If I can get my trusty assistant to hand me a lid, please, to cover this after I flame it. Thank you very much. All right. Now, there is going to be a big flame here. And we want a big flame because we want to cook the alcohol off. Now, you want to shake it because you want to cook all the alcohol off. It's not going to burn you. This is alcohol. I can stick my hand in there. It's hot, but it's not all that hot. Okay? Get it all cooked up there, keep that flame going, keep that flame going. You notice I have a plastic microwave here. Alright? Got that cooked up real nice. Now what we're going to do, that flour, I'm going to just sprinkle just a little bit more flour here. Hopefully that'll just thicken that up just a little bit. May have added just a little too much Marsala, but maybe not. I don't know if you can see that right there. Alright? Got most of the alcohol cooked off of that, and that's our goal. I'm going to check it one more time. Yeah, I think we got it all cooked off. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a lid on this for just a couple seconds. Oh, but before I do that, we're going to throw the mushrooms in and the onions. Get all that good Marsala flavor in there. Okay, kind of stir that up a little bit. Tell me that's not looking good. And that's in the time that you saw me prepare this. We're just going to cover this up. We're going to put this on real low heat for just a minute or 2. The asparagus is done now. So we're going to turn that off and just let that sit there. Again, I'm not making mashed potatoes because I'm sure that you're quite capable of doing that. And it doesn't take long, just a couple of minutes. Okay. We just want to get it absorbed. Alright. And now, to finish it off, we're going to spoon this. We're going to serve this family style tonight. And we're going to sprinkle this on here with the mushrooms. Oh man, does that smell ever so good. Oh my God, does that smell good. I've had some good smells, so this stuff is great. I love Marsala 1. I love cooking with it. I'll cook Marsala with just about anything. Alright. And we're going to get the excess. Pour the excess all over that. Get a nice little gravy in there. Got it nice and thickened up. I'm going to sprinkle that with just a little bit of fresh chopped parsley. Get a little more green in there. Now we're going to take the asparagus spears. Pull that out. Lay that in there. Now if I had some mashed potatoes, I'd be sticking that on here too. Well, nice dinner for 2 in less than 30 minutes. So I hope you enjoyed this. Next month we're going to be making bananas Foster, which is another flaming dish. And yeah, that's a really great dessert. We're going to use a lot of alcohol. Because you can see I use a lot of alcohol. We're going to be using triple sec. We're going to be using cream de banana. And it's just going to be out of this world. So until next time, take care. See you at the dealership. Bye.